You're listening to One Family, What's God Doing? Where we explore what God's doing in YWAM locations throughout Virginia. We can't wait for you to find out what God's doing today. Welcome back to What's God Doing, and I'm excited because we're going to do something a little different. As you can see, we're outdoors, and I'm actually supposed to be recording with Bamboo. Bamboo loves to hike, and I've been waiting for him to show up, and I just said, oh, hey, Bamboo.
Yeah.
Oh. How's it going?
Oh, hey, there you are.
Hey, you want to go ahead and do the recording?
Welcome to my room.
So, as you can see, Bamboo is no stranger to the outdoors. And Bamboo has spent a lot of time living out his invitations to ministry on the trail. So, Bamboo.
Chop that tree.
I know, this is going to be interesting. What's God doing in the outdoors?
Man, well, I think one thing that God is doing in the outdoors that's really fun is He's inviting people to take long walks and overcome long distances. So you have a whole group of people that basically sets out to hike sometimes for a month, 2 months, 6 months, sometimes close to a year. And they go walk through the wilderness trying to get from point A to point B. But I think really God is inviting people to do pilgrimages.
And what's interesting to me about the ways you have served in ministry on the trails is that it's not something people would normally think of. What people think of as ministry is you're running a program, or you're doing a food pantry, or any number of those things. They don't think of you walking on the trail, maybe not even seeing people for a day or multiple days, or maybe encountering people that aren't looking for ministry.
Right.
So, how have you seen God work through something like that?
There's so many stories to tell, but I think the thing that we, like hikers who are doing this kind of ministry, always have to remember is that we're making ourselves available to be used. Just like maybe you with your family, you root yourself somewhere and you make yourself a welcome place of hospitality so that others can be ministered to by what God is doing in your family, how He's transforming you. So hikers, we love to go and allow God to transform us as we walk. Like He pours out His hospitality and His love, His protection, His provision on us. And then we get the opportunity to do the same thing for other hikers as we hike with them. And a lot of times that leads to providing hospitality. Like maybe I make a connection and pretty soon now someone else has a place to sleep, and I could tell you dozens of stories of that exact scenario.
Yeah.
So yeah, really I'm just putting myself in a place to be available to meet people where they're at. Maybe that starts with building relationships. But over time, as you build relationship, you gain authority to speak into someone's life. And you also gain perspective and insight as to what God is already doing in them, the way He's already pursuing them.
Yeah. Well, I love that piece about over time, because I think that's the other misconception we have about ministry, is that it's one-off interactions, or you meet a singular need and then that's the end of it. But you have encounters that it's not just over the course of a long trail, but multiple trail walks.
Yeah.
And so tell me about that, where you've actually seen this being a long game ministry.
Yeah, so that's a great question. I can think of so many examples. I'll tell you one example that just came up yesterday. So I have another friend.
I think it might turn.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna turn.
We're backtracking already.
We're ending up into no longer the woods.
So you avoid the mountain lions if you can. Just yesterday I was talking with my friend Unger, who has been doing ministry with me for 10 years now on the trails, and he knows another guy who we've both hiked with, who is really struggling in his life right now. He kind of put all his eggs into one basket, hoping for this new job, to work out this new career path, and it absolutely fell apart. So he's pretty devastated right now. He's been hiding out. My friend Unger decided he was going to go hike the trail I hiked last year, the Grand Enchantment Trail, and he reached out to this other guy that we both know, and just said, hey man, I know times have been hard. You want to come on a long walk with me? And after some time, the guy just responded. He's got like a week to prepare, and he's like, I'm in, let's go, where are we going? And it's just, this is somebody who we met 10 years ago. We gave him his first hitch when we were first ministering in the Appalachian Trail. He came and hiked the next 2 big trails. So we all finished our Triple Crown, Appalachian Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, Continental Divide together. And here we are years later, still ministering, still walking, doing life together. And I mean, that's one of hundreds of stories of sowing in relationship. And again, he's now in a really vulnerable place in his life where he may be more open to the movement of God in his life.
Right. Yeah. What's the longest you've hiked? The longest trail, the longest span of time?
The longest, about 6 months. When I was doing that continuously, I think 3,100 miles, the Continental Divide is the biggest one. But of course, hikers always have aspirations for more. This is what we do.
So you're not done.
No, not in my heart, no.
Yeah. Well, as we start to wrap out, is there a verse that God's been putting on your heart lately?
You know, something that actually was shared this morning, while we were in worship. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, submit your requests before God. Our hope needs to be in Him. If it's in our ability to control our own lives and to control all of the extraneous circumstances, we just can't do that.
Yeah.
But what we can have our confidence in is when we bring our prayers to God, that He's worthy of them.
Yeah.
And there's no one going to be more faithful with our prayers than He is. And so just learning to lift those things up to Him so that we can walk in peace, even when we're surrounded by chaos, discomfort, maybe a big pile of leaves, or a mountain lion.
Well, Bamboo, I've always been grateful for you. I've known you since I started with YWAM Virginia, and I'm grateful for all the ways that you've served, but particularly the way that you live out this unique way of serving. And what's beautiful is you never know who you'll meet on the trail. So along the way,
Whoa.
we met this guy on the trail.
Is that a bear? What is?
Well, we got wild animals.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you for serving, for the ways that you continue to make yourself available to God. I don't know if you wanted to go back to sleep or not. It's been,
I'll be.
All right. Well, Bamboo, you keep on doing your thing, and thank all of you for listening, and not just for listening, but for journeying with us as we together as one family explore what it means to know God and make Him known.
Amen.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of One Family, What's God Doing? If you'd like to learn more about what God's doing in Virginia, visit us at ywamva.org and join us next week for more stories of God at work.